This is a picanha. You may have had it in Brazilian steakhouses. It's one of our favorite cuts of meat.
It has a sirloin beefy flavor. It's as tender and as marbled as a New York strip steak, and it has the best fat cap in the entire cow.
It's ridiculous. There's nothing better than a roasty, toasty slice of picanha pie. It looks like a slice of pie.
I love this thing because it has this beautiful fat cap, and this is fat that is so tender that you can actually rub it between your fingers and it'll melt.
There's also another name for it that you might have heard.
Sirloin cap, which also tips off where it comes from. This
I know. Sirloin.
All right, guys, check this out. We have a piece of silver skin here. Silver skin is not gonna render out, super chewy, so we're gonna get rid of it.
It's just people over 50 have that.
We're almost 50.
Sometimes with silver skin, if you start cutting, you open up Pandora's box, which means there's a lot more underneath than you realize.
You cut back to literally like this is all the steak that's left at the end when I'm done.
Looking good.
Okay, let's pat this dry.
The reason that Mark is patting that dry is because we don't want it to be wet.
If it's dry and sticky around the outside, it forms a little bit of a pellicle, so the smoke flavor is gonna adhere better. And when it comes time to give this thing a sear, you're gonna get a better crust. A lot of recipes are gonna tell you that you should take it out of the fridge for half an hour, bring it up to room temp. First of all, they're lying to you. A steak this big, we're gonna want it to stay out for 1 to 2 hours. We're salting right out of the fridge so that the meat has time to dissolve and absorb some of the salt before we put it on the grill. You wanna get all sides of this seasoned. It's really big cut of meat. It would be hard to over season it, especially when you're using a nice mild kosher salt.
After you salt the picanha, what you'll see when you let it rest is some of the moisture will start to wick out. In other words, it'll sit on the surface there. Eventually it's gonna evaporate, which is what we want.
Because moisture is the enemy of crust. We're gonna cook this reverse sear. Basically what that means is we're gonna cook it really low, really slow, so that we can cook it evenly and get coast to coast pink.
All right, our pellet grill is set up, ready to go at 225 degrees. Let's throw the picanha on, low and slow at first.
And then we're gonna let it rest.
And then we're gonna sear it on high heat.
You guys know that kid's book, right? Goodnight Picanha.
When people ask us, how long is that gonna take? What's your standard answer for that?
We cook to temp, not time. We're gonna flip our picanha so we get even cooking on both sides. One of our favorite things to make to complement our picanha steak is chimichurri. In a blender, add
shallots, garlic, red wine vinegar,
olive oil, fresh oregano, parsley,
and some red pepper flakes. All right, you'll notice that when we put all the ingredients into our little blender here, we actually put the shallots at the bottom, but when we flipped it over, they're now at the top. It's gonna actually help to create some weight to push down the ingredients to be able to blend them smoothly. Totally works.
Look, it's just going down.
It's awesome.
Oh, they just fell down the middle.
Boom.
We're gonna split this in half and reserve some of it for something else we have coming up later. And our secret weapon.
Blackberries. That's purple. Now it's looking more like jam than chimichurri, but hey, Mark swears by it. Let me smell it, clown.
Oh yeah, it's good.
This is one of my favorite things that we've made over the years.
Yeah. You're gonna get that sweet, fruity hit from the blackberries.
I think the picanha is done. You know why? Because the grill told us so.
Temperature's at 120. Carryover's gonna hit 127 on this, which is gonna give that perfect mid-rare. Look at that giant slice of steak pie right there. Picanha pie.
You gotta let it rest now, at least 30 minutes. By the way, you can probably let it go to 45. Honestly, we've even let them go for an hour. Once the temperature starts to go down, then we know we're ready to sear.
This is really nice if you're cooking for a lot of people. When you're ready to eat, it's already rested, so you sear and slice, you don't even have to wait.
Party in the back, man.
We're gonna crank the grill up to a high temperature for our sear. 550, Faye?
550, buddy. Let's rip it.
Let's rip it. Any pellet grill that you're using to sear a steak, you wanna get it to that temperature and let it stay there for a little bit to build up heat throughout the entire grill so that you don't lose the heat when you open the lid to put the steak in.
Can't afford a fancy pellet grill? No problem. Another way to cook the perfect picanha is to use a grill like this, the Ninja Woodfire. This is an electric grill, but we're using pellets to get wood fire smoke flavor.
A lot more accessible, portable, and easier to use.
And cheaper.
Way cheaper. Let's check it out. Oh God, yes. Back to the pellet grill.
Not all pellet grills are created equal. This is a high-end model that can do both low and slow and sear.
Little color on just that tip.
We're not trying to cook this internally at all. You're aiming for an awesome crust and beautiful Maillard reaction.
Oh, picanha fire.
Dear God, man.
Before we eat, let's make 2 sides to go with our steak.
First up, a fingerling potato salad. Dice 1 whole shallot. Finely chop a good amount of chives. Combine in a bowl with horseradish mustard, garlic, lemon zest, lemon juice, champagne vinegar, salt and pepper. And then emulsify by drizzling in olive oil and whisking together.
Smells insane.
That's what you're looking for. Peacock.
Then, chop your potatoes.
Mark, isn't Idaho famous for potatoes?
Yes.
We're in his backyard in Idaho.
More like Idaho.
Oh, yeah.
Bacon, and your hard-boiled eggs.
We'll incorporate everything together in a bowl, add our dressing, and that's one fine potato salad.
And lastly, an Argentinian classic, provoletta. Cut your cylinder of cheese in half.
Then coat them down in oil.
And we're gonna grill that oil side down until we get a good char.
There's a lot of oil at play here, so be careful with flare-ups.
This creates a whole lot of smoke. Don't worry, we're trained professionals. Nothing to be concerned about.
And then we're gonna flip that into a cast iron skillet that's already ripping hot.
All you want to do is make sure all the cheese melts and serve it bubbling hot. All right, let's eat. Mark, can we just go ahead and cut the steak?
Right after, we try the provoletta.
Well, hurry it up. I want to eat the picanha. All right, Mark's gonna go ahead and dress the provoletta with our chimichurri sauce. Remember, we reserved half of it for that. Oh, a piece of grilled bread, perhaps?
All right, let's see if we can do a bigger cheese pull here.
Oh my God.
Dude,
Thanks. Cheers.
the acid and the fresh herbs in the chimichurri balance out all the melted gooey fat and richness in the cheese so well. Charred bread doesn't hurt either.
I mean, I was gonna say, I don't know if there's anything better for me than charred bread with cheese. I mean, come on. Okay.
Now we're gonna try our potato salad with bacon, eggs, and a homemade vinaigrette.
It's such a simple recipe.
The vinegar really popped out after it rested.
That's a very good point. This can actually sit out for a while. The flavors are actually gonna continue to combine, mold together, and you're gonna get these amazing layers as you go through this. But this is delicious. Time for the picanha.
Here's an important piece of information. You wanna cut this against the grain. And you can see on the side here, really pronounced grain going this way here. So we're gonna go here and go down. You go against the grain because you want short muscle fibers, because short muscle fibers means tender.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this kind of steak should be illegal, honestly. If you guys can figure out how to make this steak the way we just did, you will not be disappointed. The moment of truth, reverse seared picanha.
Salty, smoky, beefy goodness. Let's not forget our blackberry chimichurri.
That is fucking insane. Don't that. The acidity from our blackberry chimichurri, in addition to the fruitiness, you've got that kind of sweet and sour finish. It cuts the fat of this picanha, which happens to be Wagyu. It is absolutely delicious. It's one of the best bites of steak I've ever had. No, not just because this is our channel, but like, it's actually one of the best bites of steak I've ever had.
I want more. If you want more of this tender, meaty, smoky, juicy goodness, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you want us to cook something else, let us know in the comments.
Can we please just eat the steak?
Yeah, where's the knife? Give me the knife. Knife.